The Tanakh tells us that God forgives us. And if we're saying, I can't forgive myself, even though God can forgive me, then that means that you're holding yourself higher than God. You are having a God complex, and that is a serious issue. Noah lived at a very interesting time in history. He lived 10 generations after Adam and Eve, and he had watched the entire world be wiped out, cleansed with the waters, and now it was time to rebuild. And Noah, being a righteous person, he asked himself, how can I rectify the misdeeds of the previous generations? There was this massive downfall. Where did it stem from? And he was able to pinpoint it from the Garden of Eden, when Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. He said they ate from a fruit, and what was the effect of that? The effect of that was that they became aware of their nakedness, and they became filled with shame. So Noah decided to go to the opposite extreme. He said, I am going to go into extreme shame avoidance, and I'm going to do it through fruit as well. So he planted a vineyard. He created this elixir called wine. He got drunk. He became naked. He went into his tent, and he was not ashamed. Unfortunately, this was not the solution, and bad things happened inside of that tent. You see, being shame-filled and running from shame are two sides of the same coin, and that coin is called self. Self is not the solution. The only way that we can rectify things in this world is by stopping to focus on self and shifting our focus to God. It's not about self-consciousness, it's about God-consciousness. When you focus too much on self, you can get caught up in high self-esteem, thinking you're the best of everything, you run the world, you're so smart, you're so brilliant, you're so talented, and you can abuse that. And likewise, when you get caught up in bad self-esteem, low self-esteem, you can think, I'm so horrible, I'm so horrific, everything I do is wrong, I'm the worst person on the face of the earth. And both of them lead to bad things. Both of them lead to places of darkness, to more sin and more shame. The focus cannot be self. And one of the other problems of focusing on self, when people are suffering from low self-esteem, is that they beat themselves up. They say, I've done so many bad things, I can't forgive myself. This whole idea of forgiving yourself is ridiculous. I don't see anywhere inside of the Torah, inside of the Tanakh, that says you need to forgive yourself. The Tanakh tells us that God forgives us. And if we're saying, I can't forgive myself, even though God can forgive me, then that means that you are holding yourself higher than God. You are having a God complex, and that is a serious issue. So what's the solution? The solution is, when you wake up in the morning, don't think about how am I going to satisfy my needs, my desires. Think about what is my role, what is my mission. You were created at this juncture in history with your personality, your likes, your dislikes, your skills, your talents, your difficulties, your health issues, your mental issues. Every single thing that makes you you was created because it is essential to your mission. You are created perfectly for your position. The only thing that is inside of your hands is free will, choosing good or evil, choosing to focus on self or to focus on serve. That is what is within your hands. You are given that capability. You see, we are all supposed to be part of God's army. We all have a role and a mission, and each of us can step in line and do what we are supposed to do, as long as we don't get distracted by self. Nobody needs somebody who's going to sit and contemplate their navel. Nobody needs somebody who's going to constantly beat themselves up and just go and do more bad things. We are given our marching orders. The Torah is very explicit about what we're supposed to be doing and what we're not supposed to be doing. So don't beat yourself up if you've fallen in the past. Just make good decisions from here on out. God is constantly recreating this world, and every day is a new opportunity. Just shift the focus from self to serve, because you are an essential soldier in God's army. You are desperately needed. But don't get distracted by high self-esteem, low self-esteem, or things that you've done in the past. Look forward, march, and let's change the world.